27 shots, 8 shots of them on target, 74% possession for Manchester City. Meanwhile, for their opponents, 26% possession, 3 shots, and only 1 on target. Manchester Derby, by the way. This is the Manchester Derby, and United came in with no intention to play football. Erik ten Hag and Manchester United came in with the clear game plan of playing no football. They came there with the bus, with the jet, with the rover, and parked it in front of the goal. It felt like Jose Mourinho was their manager with all the buses that were being parked in front of the goal. Because that's what United came with the game plan. Go there, park the bus, and don't get humiliated. With those stats that I just said about City, you'd probably think that United got beat down 4-5-6-0. But luckily, they survived, and they only got beat down 3-1. But that was an embarrassing showing for Manchester United. This is the Manchester Derby, and you're going into the Etihad and playing like that. You're going into the Etihad and playing with no fight and just parking the bus, and trying to scrap it out for a 0-0, like you did at Anfield. This is the biggest game of your season. These are your City rivals. These guys have been winning non-stop, and you have the opportunity to put a stop to that. But you just go there and lie dead. And that is down to Erik ten Hag. That is down to the manager for playing like this. Because Erik ten Hag is being found out. He is a crap manager. What he did at Ajax is completely being brushed away now by what is going on at United. Going into the game plan was sit back, defend, soak up the pressure, and hoof it long to Rashford and Garnacho, and use their pace to try to exploit the City back line. And it worked. It worked at the beginning, you know. They went long with Onana, Bruno got the ball, passed it to Rashford, and Rashford scored an unbelievable thunderbolt, a goal that he'll probably never score again in his life. And United went 1-0 up, and they're 1-0 up at halftime. So the game plan was working. And then all of a sudden, City came back into the game. Foden shown his quality. Haaland obviously got the winner. And United's game plan was back in the mud. And this is all down to Ten Hag. Because you do not go into Man City and play like that. You do not go into Man City, especially in a derby, go there, put 10 men behind the ball, and just defend and try to go long. Because that will not work against City. That will not work. Even though City scored 3 goals today, they weren't even that good. Manchester City weren't even that good today, especially their front 3, De Bruyne, Haaland, and Doku. They weren't even that good. De Bruyne obviously wasn't having a good game. He was just getting the ball, swinging it, and it get cleared away by a United defender. Haaland does absolutely nothing on the ball. He is absolutely useless if he's not getting chances. Because he's a striker that needs chances. If he's not getting chances, he's useless. He is completely useless. Because he does not drop in deep. He does not create his own chances. He does not create chances for his own teammates or whatever. He needs chances. He's a fox in the box. That's all he is. And if he's not getting that, he's useless. And Doku, the Belgian Jar Jar Binks, yeah, he is useless as well. He is absolutely rubbish, that guy, Doku. And there's a reason why he got hooked off at like the 50th minute. Because he is rubbish, Doku. Jar Jar Binks, rubbish. Does a little shimmy, pass it sideways. Does a little shimmy again, pass it backwards. There's no cutting edge about this kid. He's rubbish. Even with all that, United still couldn't win. This is down to Ten Hag. Because Ten Hag is crap. He is crap. There is no style of play. There is no game plan. It's just freestyle football. The same they were playing under Oli, but worse. It's get the ball, hoof it long to Bruno, hoof it long to Rashford, hope they do something. That's all their game plan is. Hope that moments of brilliance like Garnacho scoring an overhead kick, Kobe Mainoo last minute winner against Wolves, Rashford today scoring a thunderbolt out of nowhere. Moments of brilliance can win them the game. Sorry, but that does not work in football. If you want to win trophies, if you want to be the cream of the crop, you have to have a game plan. You have to have a certain style of play. You see Arsenal have a style of play. City have a style of play. Liverpool have a style of play. Wolves, Brighton, so many teams in the Premier League have a style of play except Manchester United. Every time you watch Manchester United, you don't know what they're going to do. You don't know what they're going to do. And they make average and ordinary teams look like a level above they are. They make them look like a world-class team. They won 3-0 against West Ham a couple weeks ago. West Ham were the much better team. United were second best for the whole game. United just took their chances. Even against Wolves. They were the second best team. And because, again, Kobe Mainu, moment of brilliance, they won that game. And even against Luton, they're poor for the whole game. Luton were the better team, but United just about won the game. And the thing is, this result has been coming for the past few months because United have been playing terrible the past couple games. They have. And no, not even that. They've been playing terrible since the start of the season. Since the start of the season, United haven't been playing convincingly. And that is again down to the manager for not instilling a style of play into the team. Obviously, what we saw at Ajax with Ten Hag was he played a certain brand of football. He played attacking football, possession-based, total football. He came to United and for some reason he scrapped that whole philosophy. He scrapped that whole philosophy just to try to accommodate Bruno and Rashford into the team. Well, sorry, you're the manager here. You're the manager. You should come in and force your style of play into the team. And if they don't fit your system and tactics, well, listen, sell them. Get them out of here. Because you're the manager here. You get to dictate how your team gets to play. And if they don't fit your system, it's simple. Get rid of them. You don't have to create a whole new system and a whole new philosophy just to accommodate 2 players. And not even that as well. This guy has spent 400 million in transfers. 400 million since he's arrived at the club. Within 2 seasons, he spent 400 million in transfers. Anthony for 80 million. Mason Mount for 60 million. Onana for 50 million. Højlund, 70 million. 4 of those signings were all waste of money. All of them were waste of money. Onana, he's been rubbish. Yeah, okay, he had a good game today, but he's still a very shaky keeper. Højlund, he's a very good youth talent, but 70 million for a 20-year-old who's unproven. I think that's a bit too much. Anthony, 80 million. Oh my god. What were they thinking with this? What were they thinking? 80 million for Anthony. Was he okay, Ten Hag? And then Mason Mount, 60 million, a guy who hasn't even played all season. So this is all down to him. These are players that he desperately wanted. And players that supposedly fit his philosophy and system and tactics. Yet they're not starting for them. They're not starting for him. They're frozen off the team for some reason. Amrabat, a player that he desperately wanted as well, is now a bench player under him. His poor treatment of Sancho as well. And now Sancho's gone to Dortmund, he's playing pretty well. So Ten Hag is an absolute crap manager. He's a crap manager, but on top of that too, his man management is poor. His man management is poor. He has a very poor talent ID because 90% of his signings have all been flops. And not even that as well. He always goes back to Ajax for his signings. He only signs players from Ajax and the Dutch league. He has no other area of signing players. Just only Ajax and Dutch league. That's all he signs players from. And that is a very bad philosophy of going into transfer windows. So I think Ten Hag's time is coming to an end. I think this game is one that could get him sacked. I don't think it'll get him sacked right away, but it could be one of the main reasons why he could get sacked end of the season. Because I think with their new ownership, Ratcliffe, Omar Barada coming in, I don't think they'll want Ten Hag. I think they'll want a manager who comes in with a style of play. A style of play that's going to be here for 4 or 5 seasons, build something long term, and kind of have a style of play behind him. And I think this will be the final season for Ten Hag. And I think ultimately at the end of the day, Ratcliffe will pull the trigger on him. So I think Ten Hag's gone. Ten Hag is gone. He's a useless manager. He's a crap manager. He belongs in the Netherlands. They've had this coming, United. They've had this result coming, United. And people will say, oh, it was a foul on Rashford. It wasn't a foul on Rashford. Rashford dived. Again, pathetic from Rashford. He's a pathetic player. Poor showing from United. Absolutely poor showing, especially on a derby day. So these are just my thoughts on Ten Hag and the derby day. United obviously getting embarrassed by City, because that should have been more. Even though it's 3-1, that did not explain the whole picture of the game. I think it should have been 5 or 6 for City, but 3-1 is also a bit embarrassing as well. But these are my thoughts on Ten Hag, on Manchester United in general, the whole situation going on. And I do think Ten Hag will get sacked end of the season. It's just a matter of when he'll get sacked. But he will get sacked. I don't think he'll last next season, but he will get sacked end of the season. So that's my thoughts. And by the way, before I cut this video off as well, I do want to speak on Phil Foden, because that kid is an absolute quality player. He's a generational talent. People say Saka's better than him. I don't think Saka's better than Phil Foden. Saka's a good player, but Phil Foden's on a whole different level. And I think this game just proved it to me. So Foden over Saka all day. Foden is a quality player. He needs to be starting for England at the Euros. So that's my thought on the derbies. No, that's all for now.